and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek pod thing. My name is Jake, and today I'm joined by
Chris,
Ames,
Caitlin,
and today we are talking about 2 episodes of A Star Trek to Steer Her By,
the Voyager.
Voyager edition. Cold Fire and Tattoo.
other way around.
Scratch that, reverse it.
Nice.
Fire cold.
Tattoo and Cold Fire, which are 2 phenomenally
Voyager
colorful episodes.
Yep.
They use color television. It's a miracle.
Wow, now available in Technicolor.
Yeah.
but before that,
But before we get to that, a little belated, but
Very.
I'm no longer ill, finally.
Yay!
Prove it.
but we are
Lick Jake.
but because we were unable to get together because of Chris's diarrhea.
Various illnesses.
No, I was the one that had diarrhea. Chris had
Well,
COVID.
let's be real. We
Like
all
COVID,
had diarrhea.
then a horrible cold, then yeah.
Anyway, so much feces. So today we are going to be doing our Christmas special,
Woo!
where we sing carols.
We don't.
We don't, but more. We'll be opening up our gifts that we got for each other. So it should be very fun.
I think Jake should go first.
These are our MLK weekend gifts.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
exactly.
We're celebrating MLK.
Of course, this is going up sometime.
I don't know.
In
I kind of feel like I want Jake to go last because I feel like it's going to be the funniest gift.
Okay, well,
Well, see, that was my reasoning from going first.
Get the joy out of the way
well,
now.
well, let's decide who should go first.
You want to Rochambeau for it?
Jake can go last.
Okay, fine. I'll go
Great.
last.
Done.
Caitlin
I'll go
wins.
first.
All right,
Caitlin
James
wins.
goes first.
I go first because I called it.
Oh
Done.
yeah, do it.
I like how we've wrapped these in paper.
It's really good Foley for the pod thing.
Oh, swish. Love it.
You don't have it, right?
No, I don't.
You promise?
Oh, I am so excited. This is my favorite fucking game. You know this?
I do know.
This is for the board game Betrayal at House on the Hill, an upgrade kit. And it looks like more characters, which is super, super fun. As much as I do love my boy Darren Flash Williams, I'm also happy to play more people.
Are they new people?
Oh,
or
no,
are
they're new. They're the
I
same
think
people,
they're
but with special
updated.
stuff.
Yeah, they're like nicer cards and nicer dice.
Oh, I've always wanted nicer cards because the stupid little indicators always fall off.
See? Well, I'm sorry it wasn't as exciting as new characters,
wheelies
but...
You wheel them? You do a
Yeah,
little
no,
wheelie
that's
bit?
brilliant. And the art is pretty sweet too. Look at that. Oh, Professor Longfellow. You're older than ever. Little Dragon Akimoto, love him. Oh, this is lovely. Thank you, guys. Now we have to play!
I'm fine with that. I love that fucking game.
Because
I've been like, honestly, this is like half the reason I really want the pandemic to be over. I'm like, I don't need anything else except Ames and Betrayal at House on the Hill.
accurate. All right, we should move on because we've got a lot to cover today.
Your turn, hon.
My turn. Cool. What should I open first?
All right, well, the top one's from Ames, the bottom one's from me.
Ow! That's so fabulous. I feel... It's a Star Trek thing.
We should announce
You
what it
could
was.
read the title and it would tell you.
Wait a minute. Yes! Oh my god, yes! Okay, this is Star Trek Signature Edition, Imzadi Forever, and apparently it seems to be some kind of Troy and Worf
And Riker.
fish. Oh, it's all 3 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Love
Well, all
triangle.
3 of them?
I bought a copy for myself as well.
Oh,
And
is
what-
it
Holy shit.
Is it by Peter David?
It's by Peter David.
Oh,
Who's Peter
he's-
David?
He's a quite good Star Trek author.
I'm
I thought you were going to be like,
so-
oh, he's a romance
I'm so
novelist.
fucking excited.
No, he wrote the New Frontier books that I quite enjoyed in high school.
yeah,
And he also writes a lot of comic books.
Yeah, in Star Trek ship posting, whenever somebody's like, someone recommend a book for me, tons of people jump on the Imzadi train. And I was like, Caitlin likes that kind of
There's
stuff.
a train, all right.
Ooh.
Running a train.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Yeah, and what this is it's a 2-book series. It's a Imzadi and Imzadi 2.
Okay.
And
Electric Boogaloo.
I had mistakenly bought this and then Imzadi 2 thinking they were number 1 and number 2, but this one is both of them evidently.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So if
cool.
anybody needs just Imzadi 2, let me know.
Electric Boogaloo.
Nice.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. This is
Yay.
perfect. I can't wait to read it. Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you very much. Alright, I will open this. Now, who wrapped? Was it you?
No, Jake wrapped that one.
I
I
wrapped
wrapped
that
the
one.
other ones.
You really?
Poorly.
No, you guys both actually do a good job. I feel like my wrapping this year was very poor, so...
I'm the
Oh,
shittest rapper
good.
in the area.
I don't know. Pat's pretty bad, to be fair. Alright, well I was gonna try to get it off nicely, because
No such
it's
thing.
special... Well, it's special paper.
Well, I mean,
Theater paper.
There's tons more of
Oh, good. Really?
it. There's a whole roll of it.
What did you get them?
Oh, it's Loxana. Oh, it's like little
shit.
miniatures. I got micro machines. Holy shit. Deep Space Nine micro machines. I love them.
Wow,
So what do
where?
I have? This is so I have a Cardassian, is it Galore? Galore class warship. I've got Deep Space Nine, which looks really tiny compared to the Galore warship.
Or the roundabout.
Oh my god, yeah. How did they fit the roundabout into Deep Space Nine? It's huge. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
These
not,
are brilliant.
Not to scale.
Let me see Loxana.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, she looks good.
I had a bunch of those
Great.
as a
These
kid.
are amazing. Thank you so much. I love them.
You got the quark in a box?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Amazing.
neat. Take a look, Chris.
These are awesome. Thank you so much.
That's
Oh my
great.
god, I
Merry
love these. Are the
Christmas.
best. Oh my god, these are like the best gifts. Thank you. Wow.
There,
Now I
look.
feel like we should have let Jake go first because I feel like it's gonna pale in comparison to these fabulous gifts. Thank you guys.
I'm up. Oh, I have got a book.
Imzadi too.
Oh,
son
delightful.
Of a bitch.
Yay!
I read about this. I'm glad I didn't buy it now.
What is it?
Fan fiction, a memoir inspired by true events by Brent Spiner.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that just
love
came
it.
out.
Yeah.
A what war? Mem?
Memoir.
Mem noir. Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost all the way through because I bought myself a copy as well, which I've been reading. It is very cute. Brent does a great job.
Oh, good job, Mr. Spiner.
Yeah. I've heard it. I'm really glad I didn't buy this now. I almost did, like, more than once. Let's see what I got in here. Jake, I've got... Ooh,
Another nondescript box.
isn't that suspicious?
I wonder if it's micro machines.
Well, it came
It
from
might be
Andrew
micro-
Nixon in Rock Island, Illinois.
It did. and It's a repurposed box.
I figured.
Actually, that might have been the original box that that shipped in.
Enjoy the crinkles, everyone.
Yeah, just
Really,
one
you're-
little piece of tape.
You're
And
torturing only
I do
yourself.
also have micro machines. They are the original Enterprise. They're all TOS. TOS Klingon battle cruiser, as they call it. It's a D7, and a Romulan bird of prey. Wow, these are great. Thank you. Like I said, I used to have these, so it's kind of nice to have them again.
Let me see. Thank you.
Very nice detail on all of them.
Ooh, they are. Those are
Galoob.
nice. Well, apparently, according to the bottom of my box, which is more updated than the bottom of your box, there's also Star Trek the Movies collection,
Yeah, I couldn't
the Next
find
Generation collection, and the Next Generation collection again. Two Next Gen,
But with different shit.
with different shit.
Yeah. Ooh, a Ferengi Marauder.
Micro machines actually don't exist anymore. I happened to look
Really?
them up the other day. Yeah, no, the brand was bought by, I want to say, Hasbro, and they eventually discontinued it.
Or did you want to? I guess you didn't get to look at these ahead of time.
Here.
I didn't. I had no idea. I had no idea Jake got you anything.
Amazing.
So.
Whip it out. Let's see it.
And my action figure is Toss.
Yay!
Oh, Tosk. We
Absolutely.
love
I
Tosk.
was so
Delightful.
impressed that they made a Tosk action
Yeah.
figure.
That's a great choice.
I mean, they made everything. I had an Admiral McCoy as a kid.
Nice.
Ooh,
Was
very
he,
old.
Was he wearing the deep
Oh, yeah.
cut?
The little sparkly silver jacket he wore. Yeah.
Really? That's amazing.
This is great, though. Thank you.
That is great. Thank you, guys. Oh my god, I can't wait to read this fucking book. If you don't hear me talking at all during this episode, it's just because I'm reading already.
That's the thing. I can actually read again.
Since you said you read before bed now because
I-
you're not struggling
Because
to breathe all the time.
He has time before bed.
Well, yeah, this thing, I can lie down and not just immediately fall asleep because I'm constantly exhausted. If you find you're not getting enough rest at night, do look into a sleep study and potentially a CPAP.
Okay, I'm over mine.
Do it.
Got
Sweet bag,
Some paper.
Yes, Jake has a bag.
Oh my god. I'm gonna put these on right now.
Oh my
Do
god,
it,
I
do
hope
it.
so.
They are
Oh no!
emoji slippers.
Wow.
They are slippers in the shape of the poop emoji.
And they're like
They're like the
shifty
weird,
looking and
they're
drooling
the
for
drooling
some
ones.
reason.
I don't know. Anyway, I ordered them ages ago. It took them so long to get
Really?
here, and like at one point I checked and it was like, oh, they've been delivered in Dorchester, and I was like,
What?
they fucking better not. That's not where they belong. That's not where I live.
What happened? But they did show up.
They did. They did.
So they were
Oh
not.
my god, I hope they're gonna fit you. I got the bigger size.
Let's see.
Oh shit. Oh no.
They might not fit me.
No! no, Cinderella.
No,
Oh, fuck.
they do not fit.
Oh, dude,
That's the
that
bigger size? Because I was
sucks.
going to say, like, Jake
Well,
does have large
let
feet.
me double check and see if there's another larger size, because if there is, I'll get them for you. Oh, no. Damn it. All right, hold on. Let me look. Dude, I'm so sad.
Curse
As soon
these-
as you pulled them out, I was like, wow, they're smaller than I realized.
Curse these giant feet of mine.
We'll don't worry. We'll figure this out.
We can bring them to a cobbler
They look so tiny.
and ask him, just be like, okay, you know how for limousines they take a
I
normal
feel like
car.
they barely fit me. now I'm like wondering if they sent me the wrong ones,
sent
like
you,
full
like,
Does
stop.
it
like
say
kids
on them
ones?
what size they are?
But yeah, with limos, they just take a car, cut it in half, lengthen it. So we just do that with these. We just go to a cobbler, be like, we need these bigger. The cobbler will go, on the one hand, this is ridiculous. On the other hand, I'm a cobbler in the 21st century, so I get very little business. So fucking fine.
Do
I will
people that-
debase
Do
myself.
people that wear fancy shoes still get cobbled?
Yeah, but I have to imagine that number is like becoming fewer and further
Yeah,
between.
because most people, I feel like if your shoes need something, you just buy new shoes.
Yeah, especially if you're rich.
So that is the larger size, which makes me really mad.
Oh.
But I will find you a replacement. So do not despair. I will
And
fix
until then,
this.
I mean, you can just have these like in display on a shelf somewhere.
Well, or you could have Ames
Yeah,
wear
but
them,
Ames- I
because
mean,
then
they
you
fit
could
your
look at
feet.
them more
And
readily.
they seem like they would be very,
Very warm,
very
and my
warm,
feet
but
are
they're
always very
they're
cold.
very fluffy.
Well, you want to try them on and see if they fit your feet?
All right, we should start talking about Star Trek.
yes.
All right, Star Trek. Okay, so as previously mentioned, we are watching Tattoo and Cold Fire.
Does sound like a Bond movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, for
It
whatever
also
reason.
reminds me of the Crossfire theme.
Oh yeah, Cold Fire.
You'll
Don't get caught in the Cold fire.
Cold fire! I feel like I was talking to friends once, all admitting that like when they were younger, they had crushes on the bad boy
No,
from the ad.
it was just Liz, and it was on this podcast.
Was it?
I-
Okay.
I think so,
It
or at least
was.
we've talked about it on this
Mm.
podcast before.
I never had that game or I knew anybody that had it, but it looked so cool from the ad.
I
But
did.
I bet it was pretty lame.
A cousin of mine had it. Yeah, it was pretty fucking lame. So, Tattoo.
Tattoo. Okay, so
Mr. Rourke. Wait, no.
yes, Mr. Rourke. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Tattoo. What's going on in Tattoo? Well,
Ugh.
let's see. What the fuck happened? How did this start?
They were looking for some kind of
Oh
resource.
yeah, they needed some bullshit.
Some phlebotinum.
They think it was on some planet. They detected it on some rando planet. So they're like, all right, let's beam down and check it out. But they go to beam down, and B'Elanna's like, I can't beam. Every time I try to beam, a big electrical storm happens right where I want to beam you, and it keeps
You're
happening.
jumping ahead, but that's okay.
Am I?
They were already on a planet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. All right. They started on a planet, on
Yeah.
some other planet.
Yes.
And they found some drawing, like, in the ground. And Chakotay looks at it and has a flashback to when he was a teenager. And he was on a South American expedition with his old pop. And he saw a very similar, in fact, the exact same symbol on this...
Coincidence?
on this expedition. So he goes back up to the ship and he's like, hey, Miss Janeway, this is weird. This is from a thing that I saw on Earth when I was a kid, and here's what I saw on this planet. What? So why don't we, there's a warp signature, why don't we follow it and see, maybe we can find out who drew this symbol, and maybe they have the special unobtainium we need. So they do. They follow the warp trail, they find this other planet, which is where we have the beam down incident with B'Elanna and the electrical storm. So they decide to take a shuttle instead. It's a little bit of a rough ride, but they get there. And it's a jungle planet. In fact, it looks just like a South American jungle, complete with flying hawks.
And flowers. That
And
Tuvok
flowers.
recognizes, because of course he fucking
Apparently,
does.
yeah, because orchids apparently exist on Earth, Talaxia, Vulcan, and this random planet. So, interesting.
And apparently they're a tasty treat.
And they're a tasty treat. So they find this stuff, and they're wandering around there, but they can't find anybody. There's no people on this planet, but they're like, there's gotta be fucking people here, right? We detected signs of bullshit. And then a storm happens, and it gets real crazy, and then Neelix gets bit by a hawk,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the hawk.
And they almost pecked his eye out, but he's hurt. So they beam him up to the ship in an emergency beam out. And then there's this big storm, and then I can't remember who else was on this. Was it B'Elanna and Tuvok? Who else was here?
Yeah, Baloney, Tuvok.
Baloney.
Yeah. So anyway, so they beam up, but Chakotay had a tree fall on him in this big storm, and he dropped his communicator pin, so they couldn't beam him up. So he's trapped on the surface. So he has more visions, not visions, they're memories. He has more recollections of this trip to the Amazon or wherever it was, and it turns out what was actually happening on this trip was his dad was looking for his ancestral tribe, I guess, like his tribe, the people that predated them,
The rubber tree people.
The rubber tree people, and they find them. And they're hostile at first, but then he knows their language. Chakotay's dad knows their language, so they're like, "Oh, you must be friend." And then they tattoo, the Chakotay tattoo on Chakotay's dad. And Chakotay's a little bitch the whole time, young Chakotay.
Oh my god, the only thing worse than adult Chakotay
is child
Chakotay.
So kind of the same exact fucking thing happens on this alien planet in the Delta Quadrant, where Chakotay, he wants to talk to these people, but they show up and they're kind of hostile at first, and then fucking A. Chakotay, then they notice that Chakotay's got the tattoo, and they're like, "You got the same tattoo we got." Oh, they do a hand buzzer handshake. To make, because that's
Smell my flower.
That's how their universal translator works.
Yeah.
So after they shake hands, they can talk to each other, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, you're a human. You must be from Earth. Yeah, we used to go to Earth, and yeah, it was pretty cool. We talked to some folks there. We taught them how to do our tattoo styles, and we fucked them because their descendants still have head ridges, and." Did the descendants have head ridges? I feel like they
the ones that they met, yeah.
Yeah, so
I thought they were Cardassians or something at first. I was like very confused.
Yeah, so apparently there's a tribe in the South American jungles that has head ridges because they boned some aliens from the Delta Quadrant.
4,500 years ago, though.
Well, see, they had a lot less ridge. It was
it's an isolated
many
tribe.
years
I mean,
ago.
there's uncontacted tribes
fair.
in the Amazon.
We'll get into this.
There's a lot stupid about this episode.
But long story short, Chakotay makes friends with them, and they're like, "Oh, why do you have the tattoo?" He's like, "Oh, my dad had it. I liked that, but I didn't like my dad, so I got this tattoo to piss him off."
Damn it.
It's somehow dumber than that.
Yeah, I got it to honor the father that I hate. And then then they're like, "Oh, well, shit, we need to go to the planet. We can beam people up, but we can't beam people down, so we'll have to take the ship down to the planet." They try bringing the ship, and then there's an electrical storm, and it's fucking up the ship, and they can't land. But then the electrical storm clears because Chakotay made friends with the people, and then they leave. Did they give them the unobtainium?
They gave them some.
Yeah.
Unobtainium.
So...
That's sort of somewhat of a summary, I guess.
What's idiotic about that? I mean, a lot. But what I think is a lot. The thing that stood out to me by the end. No, this doesn't narrow it down. Okay, here's one thing in particular that was dumb. You figure this episode, the whole thing is building to, why Chakotay has his tattoo. So you think there's going to be a moment we see where Chakotay comes around, or him and his father have a moment, or something. But no. We just see whiny bitch teenage Chakotay the whole time. And then he tells the story of, "My dad died fighting the Cardis, so I got this to honor him." What was the point of this episode?
Well, I think it was really helpful that we learned that apparently, this is the part that I thought you were going to mention.
Oh god, no, I was going to say
This is what I thought you were going to mention. The worst thing about this episode is that the indication is that indigenous peoples had no language and no culture and no anything until these fucking aliens showed up and were like, "Let's teach you how to culture and shit."
Yeah.
The guy that did it, that tells the story, is the palest motherfucker, you pointed this out, the palest person we've seen in the whole fucking episode is this frosted guy who's like, "Yeah, we gave them culture and shit." And I was like, "What? White savior?" Literally.
And he was literally teaching it to a frosted, like somebody in full,
that's it.
Inuit sort of attire.
You don't get to the nomad hunter stage before you've developed a language.
Well, I feel like they just supplanted maybe what they...
No, he said they had no
that's-
spoken language.
That's
No
wrong,
language
then.
and no
And
culture.
no culture, even though Nomad Hunter is a culture.
Oh, nomad. I keep hearing zero mad hunters.
Oh, yeah, no, Nomad. But, yeah, it reminded me of in college, we took this Greek history course, and it started with Greek prehistory. And, the professor was debunking this sort of paper that was trying to paint the prehistoric Greeks as this, like, idyllic, sort of overly idyllic culture. There's no property, just, but then described all these...
It was imagined by John Lennon.
Yeah, and it was just... But then, like, after saying there's no property, it described all these things, like
people
dolls
want.
and this and that. It's like, sounds like property to me. What did you need? A mug that says Og's mug? Like, there was a culture. You just didn't recognize it as one because you're some kind of crazy dickhead alien.
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah.
But no spoken language.
Yeah. And clearly no Prime Directive with these people.
Yeah,
No. I got from this episode. By the end, I got a lot of the Chase vibes because literally, you get to the end and it's this dude. I don't even think we learned his name or what his people are. But this dude comes in and just tells you the story of what happened with your people.
It's a lot of telling.
Because up until then, I was trying very hard to think open-mindedly about this episode because there are some kind of interesting themes about heritage.
Yeah, they were trying.
They were trying, and I understand trying to want to fill in more of the Chakotay character, even though it's sometimes in ways that negate the other things about the Chakotay character we've already established.
Yep.
God damn it. But I read a great quote by Robert Beltran about this episode and about how he liked the way that it spoke to him not really having a connection with his heritage, but feeling like, he kind of wants to now. In the same way that Robert Beltran, the person, says, yeah, like, I'm Hispanic. And I keep thinking, oh yeah, I know Spanish. And then every time I try to speak Spanish with somebody, I realize I cannot speak
He
Spanish.
just hasn't done a hand buzzer handshake with
Yep.
with a Spanish-speaking person.
That's like... That's the thing, like, that idea, especially because the big surprise to me, and again, the fact that all this was told to us instead of the episode is like, everything we've seen of Chakotay after this point, he seems really into his heritage.
Yeah, like he's embraced the different cultural things you do, the
Yeah.
holidays you do, the on my dad's death day I do a
The
thing.
spirit wheel or
But
something.
apparently that all came about because of his father's death, which...
Was recent.
very recent if we, look at the timeline here. And it's like, whoa. So this is like a very new conversion? Like, hold the fucking phone. This changes so much about,
Does it change everything?
yes.
Like the breed.
Show me that, not this utterly ridiculous aliens influenced the native. I really almost wanted it to be the serious version of that old Futurama joke, where there's an episode where they go to, like, ancient Egypt planet, but it turns out the aliens went to Earth, really liked Egyptian shit, and brought it back. Not that...
Sounds like Stargate.
Not that they brought stuff to
Well,
Egypt.
they also there's a good very blink and you miss it joke in that where they go, the Egyptians taught us many things, and they list a bunch of things, and they're like space travel. And
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
We're doing a Futurama rewatch right now, so it's very fresh.
Yeah, like...
That's a good episode.
I was almost hoping it was that. Like, we went to Earth, we thought your Native American people were cool, so we brought back some hawks and orchids. Oh, by the way, I did look up edible orchids, because, are they edible? Some are, although they can irritate the stomach. Turns out vanilla is a type of orchid.
Oh, that makes sense. I looked up, because there's a really funny anecdote about the hawk scene.
Oh.
Because they needed basically to, do some shooting on location with a hawk.
Evan Phillips almost lost his eye.
However, when they were filming the hawk scene, the hawk, while doing his acting, spotted some crows.
Oh, no!
And went to go play with the crows.
Oh, okay.
And vanished for hours, and they had to go find him.
Whoops.
I thought you were going to say he attacked the crow. He was like, oh, bird
Well,
friends.
plays with the crows.
I've seen hawks and crows, chase each other around.
I mean, they're like crows are smart birds and
Yeah.
hawks are smart birds, so they probably have something.
Yeah,
in common.
it's like,
Something
hey,
to talk about.
what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's them being assholes, it's that I don't think it's necessarily like they're attacking. Because I've seen them in my old backyard, just a hawk and like 2 crows, and the 2 crows would like chase the hawk around.
Hawk's like, oh yeah, I'm working on this show over there. The crow's like, oh wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
Can you give me a job as an extra? What's the day rate?
But yeah, like it's like it's such a weird episode. It's like it had it just focused more on Chakotay
Yeah.
and his growth. Instead, again, it's like all we see is whiny, shitty baby Chakotay.
Which
Oh,
is
God,
fine.
who is just
I mean,
the
Which is fine, but then
the
when
actor was bad.
Oh, he was
but
awful.
like
Got
I
real
understood
bad.
the arc.
I did, but like again, the sort of the payoff of the arc wasn't shown to us.
Right.
That's what's dumb to me.
Mm.
Is like I'm waiting for the payoff, and then it's like Beltran explains the payoff, and it's like you're fucking
Yeah,
really.
if they're already doing flashback scenes, why not do a flashback scene to Dadums getting killed
Something.
and Chakotay having a sad?
Yeah, like it's. Ugh.
I'd watch that.
Dadums and Sadums.
Also, interestingly, not maybe, but nerdily, I thought Dad was familiar, so I looked him up. I thought Alien Chief was familiar, so I looked him up. And I realized I thought he was familiar because I thought he kind of looked like Stanley Tucci, and it wasn't Stanley Tucci. But both of them had been on TNG as Vulcans previously.
Oh, fine.
Okay, that's what I thought. So when I first saw that guy, I'm like, where do I fucking know this guy? And I realized, I was like, oh, it's the voice. I think he is the Vulcan admiral that was on the tribunal that tried Wesley and the rest of Nova
That
Squadron.
Is exactly
Damn,
who the alien was,
that
yes.
memory, Jane.
Wow.
But
Chakotay's-
here's the other more distracting thing about that guy, though. I was like, no, I can't. That can't be the only thing I recognize it from. And like, the more I'm listening to his voice, I'm like, that's Elaine's boss from the first few seasons of Seinfeld.
Was it?
It was Littman.
The English guy?
No,
No.
That
Not
was,
the Explorer.
Oh, right.
guy.
He was that's
No,
not
that's-
early.
yeah, that's-
no, not Mr. Pitt.
Right, not Mr. Pitt. Okay,
Littman.
okay.
It
I
was
remember
Littman.
Littman.
Wow, good to hear.
Damn.
And Chakotay's dad was the Vulcan admiral from Conspiracy.
Oh, sweet.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of liked
Oh, yeah,
Chakotay's
okay.
dad. I kind of liked the they didn't go like stereotype with him. They went like anthropologist with
Yeah.
him, and I thought he was pretty cool.
The one thing that was weird, though, is he's talking about, like, the importance of tradition and this and that and all, but then he's like, yeah, but you live on a colony world
and then
countless hundreds of light years away.
Then they whip out all their like phasers and rifles and things.
Mm.
Well, you know, I mean, there's probably still Jaguars out there, and they'll fucking eat your face.
This should have been like the opening scene of Raiders, where they go and they steal some ancient artifact and they get chased by a boulder.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that there's also a magazine or something, Star Trek Monthly, that identifies the planet that they lived on as Darren 5, which is the planet from Journey's End.
Okay.
Which I don't think gets like full on established in the show, but you can kind of assume that's the same planet.
But either way, though, it has firmly, because we'd been a little confused earlier, I think, about whether he was from, how involved they were in that whole thing, and now we at least know his father, it sounds like, was killed by the Cardassians and such, and that certainly does partially, I would say, explain why he decided, yeah, fuck it, Maquis.
Yeah. I want to see that part of Chakotay more.
Yeah, again, that would have been
Yeah, it seems much
a more interesting episode.
Yeah.
And less problematic as hell with aliens teaching.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I did read, and I only read about this in one of my Star Trek books, so I cannot claim to have any knowledge of this, so blame this book I'm reading, that basically has said, like, there are some native beliefs that sky people came and bred with their women.
Oh yeah, that actually is even a point in the absolutely execrable The Puma Man, which is an amazing episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It is. That's a good one.
But that's part of it. Is aliens came to Earth, interbred with humans, and that's why their descendants become
Our
the
Puma Man.
So
Oh, it's a great episode.
So now it's kind of been established that Chakotay isn't like one particular tribe, or like his traditions don't originate with one particular tribe. It's sort of an amalgamation.
Right, but everything up to this point did seem to imply Southwest United States.
But you were also seeing in the medicine wheel kind of some South American culture.
Well, it had Mesoamerican style art, but the problem is medicine wheels aren't from Mesoamerican culture.
The other thing, though, it could be, that
it's Darren 5 culture.
it's many centuries
Yeah.
after this this happened. So it's possible, people went South America. The rubber tribe went to South America, and then some of them migrated out to the Southwest. And
I don't know enough about migration patterns of early.
But the point is, Chakotay is at least in some part now.
Yes.
Part alien.
Yes, I was thinking
oh shit.
There is some non-human DNA floating around in him, even if it's diluted as fuck.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Assuming his dad was right in that the rubber people were their ancestral people.
Yeah.
Small note, nude Chakotay was a body.
Yeah,
I saw that.
He just randomly disrobes.
Yeah,
thing is, too,
I was
it's-
like, why would you greet people with your dick out?
Do not fear
Like, he
me.
wanted to windmill them a little bit, like, here I am, I come in peace.
Caitlin said,
No, he said, I'm not a threat to you, and then you hear like someone go, you could say that again.
yeah, when I was looking up the other cast, I noticed that apparently his body double was actually also one of the guides that was with them in Teen Chakotay scenes.
Oh, funny.
And it's really weird because even if I didn't already know that, it would have been pretty obvious it wasn't him from behind. Because first of all, the guy's hair was way darker and a completely different texture.
Whoops.
Like Beltran's is kind of salt and pepper and sort of short and spiky.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's was jet black and very smooth. It's like you could really.
What is it like to be a normal human that notices shit like that? Because
I don't know if that's normal.
Looking at that ass.
Oh, the ass was hidden.
Well,
Mostly.
It's just
You can use your imagination.
Yeah, I thought I saw some cake. No cake?
I think you could maybe see a tiny bit of the top of the cake cleavage.
The cake cleavage.
Wow, I've never heard it called cake.
I think I
It's
got it.
sorta
From,
new.
I think I got it from
Cut
RuPaul.
me a
Well, I should say, I
slice.
know it's new, but it's now at the point where, old white people have heard of it,
I'm
so.
not old. Fuck.
You're old as shit.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about at all is the B plot.
What was the B plot again?
The
Oh, is this the one-
doctor.
Oh, doctor.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doc
Yeah.
gave himself a
Old
cold.
Doc. He's
He has no bedside manner.
he's
so.
a shitty doctor.
He's a good doctor.
He's a good doctor.
Shitty bedside man.
Yeah, shitty bedside manners.
It's too bad because I liked that part of the episode, I thought.
It was a little much.
I liked it.
It was fine.
I thought it was a good joke, and I thought the Kess reveal at the end was very good.
I thought
Tell us
it
about
was good, but I felt bad that Kess let the subterfuge last long enough that Harry Kim had to come down before she told the
Oh,
truth.
Harry wasn't doing anything.
God, was it this episode that I got a
It
good one off?
was.
What did they say? They were like, Harry Kim Ensign Kim believes that
That
blah,
we
blah,
can
blah,
do
blah,
something, yeah.
And I literally, without pause, went, Harry Kim believes in Santa Claus. And,
She said it with this intense vitriol that was just positively hysterical.
I'll be honest, I was a little bit stoned, but I was like, Harry
But yeah, no, it was, that thing is the minute he was like, oh, it's lasting too long, I was like, Kess fucked with the program. And sure enough.
Chris did get it, yeah.
Yeah, and she let the cat out of the bag pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I
she
expected
did.
it to go on for at least several more hours.
As did I.
You get 45 more minutes, bitch.
I mean, she's got a point, though, if you know when it's gonna end.
Yeah.
And also, probably, it was good that everybody laughed it off because she fucking tampered with the doctor's program. That's not great. That's not a good thing. And the fact that you can.
Yeah, it's a little...
How is Cass, who's not even in Starfleet, is basically just a passenger,
She's
has
psychic.
the authorization and the skills to mess with the doctor's program.
Let's be honest. Starfleet ships having basically no security is a tradition that stretches back to TOS.
That's true.
This is a good point.
Their security is terrible. They don't even lock the doors half the time.
Yeah, I saw that Picardo himself was the one that suggested the flu plot because he
funny.
thought it would be fun to act out like that.
It was fun to watch him, certainly.
Yeah, he did great with it.
Yeah.
It did feel a little out of place in this episode.
That's the thing. I feel like, I don't know what the right episode would have been, but in this one it was this is weird. The balance wasn't quite right.
I always like a B plot that kind of speaks to an A plot in a way, and this one was just stapled on.
Even if they don't dovetail, if at least they feel somehow thematically related. But this, again, you could lift it out and put it into any other episode, and it really wouldn't affect a damn thing.
Okay, they thematically tie together. It's about, what makes a person. Because you got heritage and you've got experience.
Okay.
Fuck! That's good.
Wow. You're a genius.
Nah.
Cool. What anything else? What else about this episode, or should we?
Yeah, I don't need to talk about how people controlling the weather is annoying.
Oh yeah.
I
It
forgot
took them
about that,
so
too. It was
long
so
to
annoying.
figure out. Like, every time I try to be, it's like, it's almost like they're controlling the weather.
Oh yeah, that's I guess something we missed too. Is that they weren't. The reason they couldn't find them is because they were cloaked.
Yeah.
They have like personal cloaking, Jem'Hadar style.
Or it was like planet-wide, like they were just cloaking life signs somehow
maybe.
or something. Although, oh god, shit, I had a last thought and then it just fizzled. What was it related to?
R.I.P. your last thought.
Boo.
Santa Claus.
She said, or she had said, how are you gonna fucking greet people to your wang out? And I was like, no, Kim's on the bridge.
Aw.
Ew.
Because his name is Garrett Wang.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, because I actually, like, when he said that shit, there was, like, a record scratch, and I'm like, are you being fucking hideously racist right now? And he's like, no, that's his name. I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh, that was my other thing, was I had joked when Neelix got attacked by the Hawk, and then after he beams up, you see Tuvok, and he's like, I cannot lie, sir. I threw seed on his face because I was sick of looking for orchids with him. Also, he declared himself botanist number 1, which, frankly, is bullshit.
It's a pretty good Tuvok impression.
Yeah, fucking Tuvok.
I
this
really
week.
like Tuvok.
Let's talk about Tuvok in Coldfire, because Tuvok in Coldfire, I wanted to bitch slap
What I
15
understand
times.
is
His big bloated face
if
would
Tuvok
explode.
was some sort of botanical wizard, why didn't he ever help Kess with her garden?
Because he's an asshole. Tell
Yeah.
us about Coldfire.
All right.
Coldfire.
In Coldfire, let's see.
I don't know, you shoot marbles or something? I don't really understand.
So
the
they're flying around in outer space, and the geode that was left of the caretaker starts vibrating.
Geode.
And, yeah,
I've just been saying space turd.
yeah.
Also good.
So it starts making a noise, starts booping and bopping, and they're like, "Huh, that's weird." Oh, and then for some reason they decide that it's related to. It must be near another similar composition life form or something.
Because that's how remains work. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't tell you this, but few cemeteries are always vibrating because people are nearby.
So they fly around and start looking for it, and they get to a place, and it's really going nuts. And then I can't remember how they came upon it, but they find another caretaker array. Whoop-de-doo. And they're like, I'm not detecting any caretaker life forms, but I am detecting a shitload of Ocampas.
What?
So they call up the Ocampa on the array, and the guy picks up. It's Ambassador Soval,
Yes, it is.
and he picks up
Ooh,
from Enterprise, the actor.
good. The thing that we haven't watched yet.
Tanis is his name.
Isn't that like the name of somebody in the Shannara books?
Probably.
Never read them.
It's Dragonlance. Sorry.
Never read them.
He's a half elf. Sorry, go on.
All right, so they talk to this guy Tanis, and he seems like a real tool. He's like, "Get the fuck away from us, okay? We don't want your shit. We don't want your help. We're not going to show you where our caretaker friend is. So fuck off." And then Janeway's like, I got an idea. Kess, come to the bridge. So Kess comes up, and they're like, And he's like, "All right, fine. I'll come over. I see you have an Ocampa." So he makes friends with Kess, and he's like, "Listen, just so you know, we live a lot longer than 9 years, BT dubs. Also, we have fucking superpowers." And she's like, "Oh, can you teach me? Because, I've been studying superpowers with Tuvok, but he kind of sucks. And he won't let me do the fun stuff. But you sound like you're going to let me do the fun stuff."
I giggled once and he beat me.
So he's like, "Yeah, let's make your garden grow." And so she makes her garden grow. With her mind.
Well, he made her garden grow.
Yeah, he did. That's true. But then he's like, "Okay, well, let me teach you how to slide a cup across the table without touching it, and then let me teach you how to boil water without touching it."
I can't boil water by touching it. So even if she had to touch it to do it, it'd be pretty
That's
impressive.
true. So she does. So she learns how to boil the water, and then she's so proud of herself. She's like, "Tuvok, let me show you how I boiled this water." and he's like, "All right, cool, show me." And so she boils the water, and then she boils Tuvok. She boils his blood.
It's like his eyes didn't pop.
And he almost dies. He looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That scene was really horrifying.
Very
Again,
upsetting.
a little bit stoned, and I was like, oh,
But
what
then
is
he's
happening?
I thought it was going to be like a dream sequence.
Seriously.
I
no,
thought that too. I was
'cause
like, did that really just happen?
He
Chris is
recovered
like, I think
really
so.
quick.
And he
He's
was
a
like
Vulcan.
perfectly fine the next scene. And the doctor's like, you really should take it easy for a few days. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Typical.
But also,
Typical
like,
Vulcan.
she's like, sorry I almost killed you. And he's like, no big deal.
Yeah, no biggie.
It happens.
It's all good. But yeah, so it turns out, so Tanis is like, all right, fine, I'll tell you where the caretaker is, but I don't know if she's gonna help you or not, but let's see what happens. Turns out he's evil and he's been working with the caretaker. So basically, the caretaker, this second caretaker, who is the caretaker that was the mate of the real caretaker,
Suspiria.
Suspiria, is very suspicious. Suspiria is sus because she's working with Tanis. She's got an evil, arch-sounding voice.
You didn't recognize the voice. We'll get into this.
Yeah, neither did I draw it up.
And so she's like, "Hey, just bring me the ship and your little dog too."
That's what she said.
So Tanis is really bringing the Voyager to Suspiria so that she can kill everybody on it because she's so pissed that the Voyager was responsible for killing the caretaker in her view. So they get there, and by the way, Kes is starting to do evil shit, like she kills her entire garden with fire,
And, like, has an orgasm about it.
and she really loves it.
Yikes.
But yeah, so they get to old Suspiria. Tanis has a fight with Neelix because Neelix is like, dude, you're doing some sketchy shit. And then they have a fight, and he throws Neelix across the room. And then Suspiria is like, you killed my mate. And Janeway's like, listen, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. And she's like, no, fuck you. I'm going to kill you. And then
They zap her.
they zap her. How did they zap her?
Two-box,
yeah,
caretaker gun.
Yeah.
They had done some testing on dead caretaker and been like, oh, we could use this as a weapon against them based on
Oh,
this.
it's bad news. Not only did we kill your mate, we then defiled his corpse for research.
Yeah.
They didn't. He died of old age.
Listen.
They did blow up his array, though.
Listen. Just saying.
Because he wanted them to.
So they shoot Suspiria and then put her in a force field. Because she appears in the form of a little girl with a banjo.
Oh, which I fucking hate. That little girl was creepy as shit.
Yeah, because at first she has a little girl voice, but then she has the evil Suspiria voice. Because
Yeah.
the audience would be confused.
Didn't like it.
But still as a little girl, which
Yeah.
I was distracted
But
by.
they
Like,
put- so
why
they-
not just change
They
shape?
put her in a force field, and Jamie's like, look it, we didn't kill your mate. We did blow up the array, but it was for a good cause. So fuck you, and fuck off. And Suspiria's like, okay, I guess I understand. So she leaves, and then Tanis is like, no, don't leave, take me with you. And then he vanishes too. And then the Voyager's like, okay, I guess that's it. I guess she's not going to send us back home, so
Just
onward,
keep looking for her
onward and
again.
upward.
Maybe we'll run into her again someday.
Oh.
I don't think we do.
If we do, I just hope she's not in little girl mode. It was so annoying.
Yeah,
But the little girl was better than little Chakotay.
True. Before I looked her up, I was like, sounds like B. Arthur.
You did say that. I remember you saying that.
So tell us, Chris, who was Suspiria?
Majel Barrett.
No shit, really?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an
Which
interesting-
makes me really want them to have, by the time she started using the voice, to just turn into
Majel
Majel
Barrett.
Barrett.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been too confusing because I would be like, wait, that's not Suspiria, that's number one. That's not number one, that's Nurse Chapel. That's not Nurse Chapel, that's Loaxana Troy.
And she sounds like their computer.
Oh.
Alright, so I liked Kes in this one. This was a good Kes episode.
It was.
Yeah, it was good
Yeah, I liked
cast.
it too.
I love how conflicted she was about things.
Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah, it was a good kind of dilemma to put her in, because we've been saying, like, wow, they occasionally bring up that Kes has these superpowers, but they only come up when it's convenient, and now it's kind of clear that, she's working on them, she's not that good at them. And she gets to boil Tuvok's head.
Again, though, just like, trust us, the cities are beautiful. It was, trust us, the inside of our array is lovely.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, the inside of the other array just looked like equipment when the holodeck wasn't running.
Well, there's, it'd probably been zhuzhed up.
Maybe. Or maybe they just have the holodeck running all the time. Maybe
Or that.
Maybe there's just so many platters of corn on the cob that, you'd never want to leave.
Oh, corn everywhere. Corn to eat, corn to shove up your butt when you feel like it. Corn.
Why would anyone want to do that?
There's good shape.
Corn enema.
It's ribbed.
No, thank
for
you.
your pleasure.
This is upsetting.
Oh, sure. You make weird sex toy jokes and it's hilarious. I do it and it's upsetting. Double standard.
Corn is not a sex toy, it's a vegetable.
You've never seen 9.5 Weeks.
Let's say zucchinis.
There's no corn in 9.5
Why are we
I've
talking
never seen
about
9.5
this?
Weeks. I don't know. My fault. This episode, though, mind things. And as Jake said, I was sitting there, I was like, I know that guy. And I looked at, he will see him more. We haven't seen him yet. Although I said, like, oh man, I can totally see why they wanted him to play a Vulcan. They're like, all right, remember that time you played a superior douchebag? Do that, but don't smile.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Gary Graham is the actor.
It is. Wow.
Yeah, he was also, I read, considered for the roles of Cisco back in the day and Janeway before they decided Janeway was be a lady.
I didn't know Janeway was not always considered a woman.
We discussed this when we talked about Caretaker.
I had somehow forgotten.
I also had forgotten.
I did know that, I know with Cisco, they were pretty sure they wanted a non-white actor, but still tested a few honkies.
Yeah.
Probably just to keep the studio happy. One of them was Peter Capaldi.
No, you can't have that many Brits. Come on.
But he's a Scot.
Oh, worse.
Technically, Scottish is British.
It's
not English.
That's true.
Is Scotland considered? I thought
Part of Great
was
Britain.
Great Britain's the island.
Great Britain, yeah, but I think anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yes, no, Cass meeting her people, other branch of her people, ones that were allowed to grow and thrive and
he
live
looked
to 20.
He looked great for 14 years old.
He did. I do kind of wonder. I like, not wonder rather. I was rather impressed by the fact that they did write themselves a get out of her age limit free card.
Huh.
Because it's like, okay,
you just eat all your vegetables.
if she's still here in season 7, which spoiler, she won't be. They can just be like, Cass, wow, you look great for 8. And it's like, well, it turns out with Starfleet medicine, I'm gonna live who knows how long.
And also, I've been doing more brain shit, which allows this.
Although I do kind of wonder if the reason they live longer is because they suck life out of plants.
Oh yeah, it could be.
That would be.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Are they weird Okampa vampires? Do they just get the essence out of people? Like Skeksis?
I wish there was a better reason that Suspiria wanted the Voyager other than revenge.
Yeah, when she said, I want that ship, I was like, what does she want to do with it? Does she want to harvest its technology for something?
Eat the people?
What
Yeah.
does Suspiria need with a starship?
Yeah, but no, she just is pissed. She just wanted to kill him.
I do find it interesting, though, that, and this will sort of have some payoff in future, the fact that word of Voyager is getting around, but like a game of telephone, it's sort of altering who they are.
Yeah, well, this is I think it's either mentioned or we learn later that it's the Kazon being dicks.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense, because they're dicks.
But, just they just storm in, they steal resources, they go fight people, and it's like, if you're not on that ship, it could look like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just steam into town and are like, hey, we want some of your stuff.
Give us that banjo.
So, here's the thing, right? The Voyager's, the fastest starship, or one of the fastest starships. And the fact that news of their feats is beating them places just shows that they're wasting too much fucking time doing shit.
Well, they keep needing to replenish fuel and supplies and shit.
Well, also,
the Kazons don't have water. How are they getting here?
Tuvok is an asshole in this episode. And I wanted to, fucking strangle him out. I was like, yes, good, because boil his head.
The one thing that was kind of annoying was that she was still, she was heating stuff up by making tiny fires.
Yeah,
it's no, you just speed up the atoms.
Someone doesn't understand physics.
Not at all.
Yeah, every time, Tuvok says off, if you stop giggling, maybe you'll be able to get this done faster and better. And then later on, when she's excited about something, I forget what the context was, but he's like, oh, all these emotions. It's like, Tuvok, you've been around people before. You're just being a judgmental prick.
Also, like, there are plenty of telepathic species that don't suppress their emotions, and they're fine, so go fuck yourself.
Indeed.
She'd be much better off with Luxana teaching her shit.
Suspiria?
Or her.
Oh, well, because she's a betazoid.
Yeah.
I thought you literally...
No, I actually, sorry,
literally
yes,
meant Majel Barrett, because she's in this episode.
Yes, that's true. That actually got confusing. Also, so apparently the true form of the caretakers is hentai?
Oh yeah, she turned into a tentacle monster.
Lovecraftian monster.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I was okay with it.
Speaking of not liking it, I know we had joked in the first episode, like, oh god, Janeway's gonna keep that corpse and use it as a paperweight. They did keep the corpse, though, and they just put it in a locker. Like, what the fuck? That seems wrong. Oh, and now you're using his corpse as a compass. And everyone's fine with this. We were like, Chakotay maybe could be pissed about it?
I would have sworn that Chakotay would have been upset about it, but apparently he was into it.
Yeah, no, and like, even she's like, it's a compass. They even cut to Chakotay, who's like, big grin, like, hey, great idea. It's like, dude, the one person who I feel like should be horrified by this. Come on, man.
I don't know. That guy was an asshole that dragged them to the Delta Quadrant. I feel like you do whatever you want to his corpse.
Wow.
Old Banjo Man.
Yes, someone get this turd a banjo.
Picture you with a tiny turd-sized banjo they'd strung across the corpse. Like, play this, dickhead.
He does.
That guy, though, fucking Tanis, like, he just, like, turned on the sex offender real quick.
Oh, no.
Like, he was so immediately sleazy and creepy around her.
That whole scene when they're talking about the plants and he's like, touch the plant. He's got tactile stuff. It's got, temperature and feeling and whatever else. Now touch it with your mind. Now touch it. Now do more to it. Now cup it. Jerk it a little.
I made that joke too. I was like, dude, now touch my dick.
I like that the way they decided to represent Kess's, like, psychic connection with everything was just a fuck with the tint. Tanis turned into Donald Trump.
I was like, he looks like a Oompa Loompa.
It's actually what I said last night.
Yep.
And yeah, all the plants got shiny.
The crew is gonna starve after she set everything on fire.
I said that too. I was like, dude. Well, actually, what I said was that they really fucked everything up by making everything grow at the same time because that took off the cycle. You don't want everything to be ready at the same time.
Yeah,
so
I
expected a bunch of wasted food.
Way more stuff too out of an aeroponics bay.
Well,
it was
budget.
6 racks of plants.
I mean, they also pretty much mostly just use the replicators anyway, it seems.
Yeah, they ignore their own rules constantly.
They also just all really hate Neelix's cooking.
Yeah.
Actually, what I feel like is the command crew doesn't like it, because you always see people in the background, they seem pretty fucking happy with their lunch.
I don't understand why they let the worst cook in the ship be the cook. Is that supposed to be funny? Because mostly I just find it really upsetting.
Well, and again, like, I don't know. It seems to be like, depending on the episode, his food is either fine, or if they want to have a chuckle, terrible.
Or it's made of hair.
Here's the thing. Neelix is actually the best cook on the ship because people in the future aren't cooks.
That's true.
You saw what happened when Riker tried to make an omelet.
Yep. First of all, he made scrambled eggs.
He made scrambled eggs and he fucking ruined them.
Yeah, they were so nasty that only Worf would enjoyed them.
Wasn't it possible that the eggs were just not good eggs for people to eat?
Because
they weren't like chicken eggs.
But also just the way he cooked it. Like, he overcooked it so they're stuck to the pan.
Yeah, and again, he made scrambled eggs and called it an omelet.
Well, at least he finally found his stride with pizza.
True.
Yeah. I would say with Neelix that it's probably that he's more familiar with the ingredients he's using because they're native to his area.
Yeah.
Whilst if you gave, like, the hair pasta to someone in the Federation, they'd be like, throw it away.
I don't know. I just feel like it's probably safe to assume that most average people don't have any cooking skills in the era of replicators.
Yeah, no, like
that's probably like a specialty skill that you have if you own a restaurant.
I'm always surprised that Garrick is a tailor when you can just replicate clothes. So, but we've discussed this.
Yeah, that's I guess Cisco.
But talking about Garrick is more interesting than talking about this episode.
Cisco learned from Joe.
This episode.
Yeah,
I actually did too.
But no, you're right. I never thought of that. But yeah, they probably not a lot of cooking. Probably not a lot of people who have good handwriting.
True.
Huh.
Well, that's the problem with millennials,
Well, I heard they don't teach cursive in schools anymore so that kids can't read the Constitution.
The Constitution's online. You
But
can
that's what I
read it
mean, though. Like,
there.
I'm sure even like by
That's
the
what they
24th,
want you to think.
by the 24th century, even like everyone's printing is just so bad because they almost never do it.
Oh, that makes me feel better because mine's really bad.
Yeah, chicken scratch. Couple nice moments with Neelix. You know, he's proud of her. And
Yeah.
it's like, I'll go anywhere with you.
Yeah, I like
and-
that.
Oh, I liked the I'll Go Anywhere With You. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have worked out. Because,
Oh, the rest of the Ocampa would have killed him with their minds.
yeah. So it turns out the Ocampa are just fucking assholes, probably.
Well, these ones.
Well,
I don't know. The other ones seemed pretty asshole-ish.
I was gonna say they were assholes then. They're assholes now.
True.
Cass
Well-
seems like the only Ocampa that's not an asshole until she is.
I mean, I guess it's like
Until she decides she wants to boil your
we've
ass.
never seen Ocampa that were kind of on their own. In both cases, they had been their culture was fucked up by these fucking aliens. You know, one was overly protective and coddling of them, and the other was turning them into weapons. So like, we don't know what their culture was before these morons ruined everything.
Maybe they should have
they-
asked the Sky People.
I was gonna say maybe they didn't have one.
Yeah, exactly. Last thing I wanted to bring up is Kes gets to listen to Neelix's thoughts while he's getting a haircut. And it's like, thank God he's only getting a haircut. And he's not like on the can or something.
So now we know they do have a barber. We asked that question a few weeks ago, I think. We still don't know who it is.
It's also Neelix.
Just talking to himself while he does it.
It's like, son of a bitch. No, I took too much off the
He's always doing it wrong.
That actually would be kind of funny if he was also the ship's barber. Oh god, that's where he gets
Yeah,
the hair for
except
the pasta.
everybody would look. Oh,
Too much. Way too much.
yikes.
Anything else on Coldfire? Because I know we also still have our activity to squeeze in today.
Yeah, no, decent little episode, especially on the heels of its predecessor.
Yeah, I wish we got more, not like, intent with the caretaker people. Because it sounds like, oh, she just wants to kill them for no reason. And it's, all right, thanks, Suspiria.
Well, it's not
we'll
no
never
reason.
see
It's
you
because
again.
she thinks that they killed her
Boyfriend.
friend.
But again, also, she just, based on the attitude her Ocampa has, she's just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like, there's just a not niceness about her.
Yeah.
Interestingly, you may have seen this, Ames, but when I was skimming the Memory Alpha page for this, trying to find out if that was B. Arthur, and it was not. But I guess they had said they originally weren't even going to have a second caretaker.
Mm.
They only wrote a mention of her into the pilot because the network was insisting, so that...
I think we may have discussed this in Caretaker, too.
Did...
Yeah, that, they specifically said, oh, there's a second one who left to go do another thing, just in case they needed, like, a get out of the Delta Quadrant free card.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was at, like, the... I guess thing I'd forgotten or that we didn't mention was that it was at the studio's insistence. Not, like, a thing they wanted to do. But the studio's like, look, at this fucking...
Yeah, it's gonna get too sad.
Yeah, if people get sick of this, you need to give us a way to get them home, and we can just change what the whole show's about.
Yeah, because by now, people will be, not remembering TNG anymore. We can just do, ship of the day.
Yeah. Although that would have been super awkward if they, like, got back, but meanwhile in DS9, they're in the middle of the Dominion War.
Oh, no!
And Voyager's, like, completely ignoring that. It would have just...
Nope, they fly back into the Delta Quadrant to get away.
Yes.
You know what? We think we liked it better out there.
Alright, I have no segue into our activity. And we're back. And this week for our activity, we're still talking uniforms. There's way more uniforms to discuss. I'm still trying to keep it to a sane number of uniforms we're discussing. But this week is dress uniform day. So everybody get your lapels on, because we're going to talk fancy stuff.
My epaulets are ready.
Fancy pants.
Is everyone at an angle where you can see this, or do we need to shift around?
I'm good.
You can see
I
it.
think it's
Okay,
alright.
well, I can't, but that's fine. I've seen them before.
That says the original series.
Yeah, so in the original series, we've seen their dress uniforms a bunch. It's basically gold trim around the collars and down the zipper area.
Glossier cloth.
Triangles everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little merit
Just-
badges all over.
Just scattered about. Not like Kirk actually went through the effort of making his look kind of neat when he was sewing on his triangles, but everybody else just kind of just like, whatever. They're iron-ons.
Also, the color correction did not turn this cloth from green to gold.
Oh yeah, here it's very clear that cloth and his normal uniform cloth are not pure gold. They're that greenish color.
Mm-hmm.
I love the episode where we get to see Scotty in his dress uniform because he gets to do his Scottish variant with kilt.
Plus, your favorite thing, belt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there is a pretty sick belt.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to these, so I don't know if I necessarily have thoughts on them.
I've always liked them just because they're like, they look like the uniforms, but they're a little fancier.
Yeah, you can tell that we're being fancy today.
Yeah, which is basically all a dress uniform really is.
Yeah.
In the real world, I mean.
Okay, quickly, before we talk about this one, I think there's a lot of distinction of what is and isn't a dress uniform. No one seems to be able to tell, because I think last week when we talked Admirals, Kirk's uniform might have been Admiral dress.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know
But
that.
we talked about it last week during Admiral Day, so
let's not worry about
we've
it.
talked about it already.
Unclear.
I wanted to discount it so that Caitlin couldn't pick it as her favorite anymore, but we've already done that. Meanwhile, we jump to TNG, and their dress uniforms are different.
They are a dress.
They are just really, long-ass jackets with gold trim.
Yeah, another instance where a belt would have been helpful.
Yeah.
Another instance where just redesigning the whole fucking thing, because I
Or
can't
that.
even imagine a belt making this wearable.
I have a feeling like this came about because somebody was like, hey, costume department, we need a dress uniform. And they thought, oh, you want a version of the uniform that's a dress. Okay, well, I can make that. And this is what they got.
You know,
it was the guy who developed the scant.
I mean, you say that, but honestly, the reason Tom Baker's scarf was so long in Doctor Who was because they gave this woman all this yarn. And they were like, make us this like crazy stripy scarf. And she assumed they wanted her to use all of it.
That's funny.
And so she turns over this absurdly long scarf and they go, what? But then they were like, yeah, okay, fuck it.
That's pretty good.
So that may be what happened.
Yeah, I do utterly detest these because look at poor Patrick Stewart wearing this. It'd be like dresses are fine, but these are just shapeless swaths of
That's
material.
what I say. Like a belt would have helped.
Yeah.
Any tailoring would have helped.
Any tailoring, yeah.
Literally any tailoring.
I feel like the order was make them sort of not too tailored so we can use them on multiple actors.
That's probably true.
There's also like shades of that weird one-off Q Admiral uniform.
Yeah.
With the way the gold braid is, although it's much, much thinner. But still the way it wraps around.
Yeah, that may have been a dressed Admiral braid.
I think they just hadn't figured out the Admiral's uniform at that
also
point.
true.
Yeah.
And also Q could have been just fucking with
That's
it
true.
For all we know. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys like gold, eh?
That's
So
actually
do
I
I.
prefer that version. Q's
I
making
like
fun of them.
Gold.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at seasons 1, seasons 2. There's a little bit of variance between them. By season 3, it's a little shorter.
Yeah.
A little
It looks like there's a little more fitting.
more fitting.
Like a little nipping in at the waist, like.
I still think it's fucking
Less
absurd.
gold.
Yeah, no, it's no good.
Because the gold doesn't go all the way down the jacket anymore. It just goes across the shoulder.
You know what this looks like? This looks like a mad scientist wear.
Yes.
Like if
I
it
could see
was
Dr.
white
Horrible
and
in
he
this.
had goggles on, this
Yeah.
would just be a mad scientist costume.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's no good.
Very accurate.
It's no good.
I like that. I like that description, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Yeah, plus I can't imagine this not looking good on people of different shapes, different sizes.
Oh yeah, if you weren't thin, if you're a heavy person, this is terrible.
Or if you have tits, it'll just hang in a weird way down your tits.
if you have tits, you have to have a belt because otherwise this thing is just going to make you
Troy
look like
and
you're a
Dax
cone.
are making it work in these screenshots.
It looks wrong with Worf's bandolier.
Yeah, it doesn't work with Worf.
At all.
Yeah, the length is just perplexing to me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like if
Well,
you wanted it to look fancy,
it covers your fupa and your ass. It covers the spare tire. You're good. That's what it's all about. But if you got bitch tits, sorry Patrick, you're in big trouble.
Oh no!
Oh god, I forgot to say that. But the weird outfit that Chakotay stole, I was like, hey, he stole Patrick's clothes.
Oh no! Just a potato sack.
Yeah, it was a shapeless fucking brown sack.
Yeah, kind of like these.
Yeah.
These are pretty shapeless, but they're at least in department colors.
He didn't fill it out as nicely as Patrick.
Jumping ahead, I added this one just for fun.
Yay!
Honestly, better than the regular TNG ones.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at the
Fucking
uniforms we see in Generations when they're playing on the ship, just because I fucking love them.
From
I
the
like-
HMS Enterprise.
I enjoy
Hey,
that
they
the
look
drawing
great.
of Data is him pushing Bev. Like, POV, you are Bev. Getting shoved into the water.
And it looks like Bev is using that telescope as a pipe, so Blazing Bev lives on.
God.
No, I kind of wish that they stayed in these kinds of uniforms though, because they look
Hot.
fucking fancy. The tailoring's great.
I don't remember Riker ever actually doing the Napoleon in the movie, though. Like, I think at one point, Geordi does have a what is it, astrolabe? Or, no.
Sextant.
Sextant, thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't think Riker ever actually did, like, the full
Yeah.
Napoleon.
The timelines people like
Full
sometimes
Napoleon.
go with a theme and just do a thing.
Yeah. I mean, it works, don't get me wrong.
I like it.
Geordi's so happy.
Who wouldn't be? You get to be in a cool costume.
No,
for a
that-
while.
And
That's
he's got a
true.
sextant. It's all
Yeah.
the sex he's gonna get.
Fucking
Hey.
shove Data. Just
But
perfect.
here's what's interesting about this drawing, and what Riker's doing. Everybody else is wearing a double-breasted coat, but his is not. Notice the.
Yeah, I guess it mustn't if it opens like that.
Well, no, he opened a couple buttons to shove his hand
Oh,
in.
I see.
Oh.
You can see that there are the buttons
Oh, I
there.
see. I
Yeah,
see it on the
yeah,
other
okay.
side.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, again, he's got his hand in the
It's
way.
just a weird.
Everybody should
Weird
wear
way it's
double-breasted
drawn.
everything. I love this look. I wish people still dressed like this.
Or
I know, right?
triple-breasted.
It's really just proof that they need more jackets
Like
in Star
in-
Trek.
Like in, what the
Accurate.
fuck is it? What's
Uh,
that movie?
Mars.
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum
no,
Mars.
what the fuck is it called?
We watched it on the show.
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Oh!
I couldn't recall it. Hey.
Oh.
Total Mars, I think, is actually better, though.
Total Mars.
Because that's Maximum is total, and
Yeah.
Mars is where it takes place.
Total
so
Mars
it's
would
good.
have Total Mars would have been the inappropriate Saturday morning cartoon adaptation. Because the 90s had a lot of that. Like, hey, let's turn really adult shit into cartoons.
The Ace Ventura
Alright.
cartoon
All right,
was
moving
terrible.
forward. We gotta
Yeah.
keep moving it
Yes.
forward. And by Insurrection and Deep Space Nine, we have a different dress uniform.
They look
that,
like waiters.
yeah,
this
that
looks
got
like
the
the
white
help at a
jacket.
wedding.
Oh, you're right.
It's wedding help.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Actually, though, I like it on Bev because she's got the color blocking. Oh, so does Julian.
Yeah, I
And
think,
Yeah,
I think
that's divisions, or-
No,
I think
captains and
captains-
admirals
yeah.
get white.
Oh.
Everyone else has that blue
Well,
stripe.
I much prefer. I don't like it the white. They definitely look like they're help at a wedding. But with the color stripe, it's a little better.
It's still not great.
It's acceptable. Yeah, it's not great.
Still better than any of the...
How-
Because I like the shape of it. Like I like how it's got sort of like it's a little bit lower in the front
Yeah.
with the.
I think if it weren't white and if you took the different color blocking and made it your department color, I think it'd be nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the look of it's not. Yeah, I just
Because
don't
I like the
it.
cut of the jacket.
What do we call this? Like, what would you call
Couldn't
that?
tell you.
I don't know.
Is it technically a lapel when it's all the way down there?
No,
No,
lapels
No,
up
the
at the
color
collar.
cup.
I don't know what that is.
All right, moving forward. So,
What the hell?
in Enterprise, the kind of dress uniform that we see is very military-y. It's kind of like the Admiral uniform we saw last week.
What is that? Why is Picard in that?
Because Timelines every so often introduces a special character.
Ah, okay.
I like him in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's basically they took the regular uniform,
They made it formal.
yeah,
I
added
like it.
lapels and an undershirt. I think probably has fewer, if possibly no pockets.
No.
But yeah, it's good. It's kind of like the TOS one where it's like we just kind of fancied up the existing one.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
go too crazy.
You can tell you're in the right universe. It's not like we threw you in something entirely random like those white things in Insurrection.
Yeah, they resisted adding a tie like with the admirals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Cool. All right. These are where I'm a little less on the nose because I don't remember the Kelvin movies, and also everyone's in a different uniform in every fucking scene.
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky finding what uniform is what in the movies. In 2009, I'm told that there's a cadet uniform for when they're at the academy.
Yeah.
Graduating? Do not remember this movie.
Well, this does seem to be the cadet dress.
Okay.
In that it's like he wears it at the inquest into his cheating and shit like that.
Okay. I like
Because-
that they gave Uhura sleeves again.
Yep.
Because she doesn't have that in her normal uniform that we discussed.
Yep.
Uh,
Other than that, it's just
it's fine.
it's a lot of red.
Yeah, it's very samey. That's true.
Yeah. It's just underwhelming.
Thoughts from you two?
Are cadet uniforms? They're always red, though.
Well, not in this movie, because then when he's actually taking the Kobayashi Maru, they're on like a gray thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like even in other shows, though, like Red Squad wore red, and
These are technically dress uniforms?
Well, when we see them, it's usually during formal moments,
Maybe.
so it's
Yeah.
hard to say.
Yeah.
I found them online, so I'm including them to talk about.
Are they covered in tiny fucking deltas?
No.
Well, then
No,
I
happily.
fucking love them. Well done.
Yay. All right, Into Darkness. Holy fucking shit! We see these.
Like
Yeah.
fighting
Nazi
I was gonna say
things,
those look
yeah.
Nazis. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird choice.
I was very confused because I find these on Memory Alpha, and I'm like, what?
Also,
What
hats.
aesthetic
Yeah,
are you going with?
this looks like Mirror Universe dress, you know.
Kinda
Like,
does,
but
yeah.
Star Trek never uses hats with uniforms. Like, what the fuck?
I do like the emblem that we have on the hat with the little kind of with the delta's got wings.
Yeah, it's like a baby version of the original universe Twok ones.
A little bit, but pointy.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they're very,
The hats
very
are
military.
huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yes.
kind of how peak caps can be. No, actually, no. Especially the one in Simon Pegg. That is a fucking SS cap.
You know, these are
Like,
Nazi
No
uniforms.
other countries. Well, maybe the Russians, but generally, peaked caps don't do that big swoop thing. Except again, the Nazis. Carl Urban's doesn't fit. It is like halfway down his head.
So is Zach Quintos.
No, but I mean, his
I'm
is
sorry.
like.
Simon Pegg's is also.
It's not as bad though. I think they like look at how high up.
Well, maybe it's his that doesn't fit. Maybe the rest
No,
of them
no,
are
'cause
supposed
then look-
to fit that way.
His, and you know,
maybe they're meant to look
They were a-
oversized.
bad idea
Maybe
either
they're
way.
meant to look like Nazis.
Like I didn't like them when I first saw the movie, and it didn't even occur to me at the time how fucking Nazi they looked.
Yeah.
I just thought they were ugly
That's
because they
why
were
Spock.
too.
This is one scene in the film where Spock is smiling.
Ugh.
No, he smiles later in this film when Kirk does.
He does love
Flows.
Nazi Planet.
All right, I don't think we really saw dress uniforms in the first several seasons of Discovery, but by
No.
season 4 of Discovery, we have like a different
So
dress
many?
uniform every day.
I actually do quite like Burnham's
Yeah, let's start with the captain's dress uniform, which is different from everybody else's uniform.
because, of course,
It's very nicely fitted, unlike
Mm-hmm.
all the other uniforms we see in Discovery that we've discussed.
yeah.
Mm,
Nice
the
sort of burgundy-ish color.
The color is a little clerical for me. I think that's the one thing I don't care about in
Oh,
this
see,
uniform.
I mean, you're right, but I still like it.
If her collar were more like the Admiral collar, I think
Mm.
I'd really like it.
Fair.
Oh god, and he just wears it so well.
Yeah, they finally put Vance in a nice uniform.
And that color is so nice for him too.
Yeah.
The blue or the I don't even know what you call it, like a teal, dark
I'd say
teal.
slate gray.
Oh, it's gray. Oh, from here it looks.
Well, in the
This-
first
this
photo,
one-
it looks sort of bluish.
Yeah,
in
and
the
this
second,
one it
it's
looks
gray.
blue, but it's always gray. Oh, okay, I just thought.
Yeah, it's just the lighting in that
other.
other shot.
Oh, I like the lighting in the other shot. It looks blue and he looks hot.
Yeah, he looks really good. Yeah, the Admiral uniform is pretty good. The captain's uniform, aside from the weird white collar, I think is really nice. We also
So it
see...
almost harkens back to like Khan, right? Because they've got that sort of white collar with the maroon thing.
That's true. Although with it, yeah, it's like the turtleneck.
Yeah, in Discovery, we also see this cadet uniform that I found. That's kind of cute. Look, I wish it were a little better color because, again, with the grays, you blend into the walls an awful lot.
Yeah.
I like the diagonal zip.
Yeah, I love a diagonal zip. The thing on the under the neck looks like a handle. Yeah, so we have this cadet uniform. We also have a different officer uniform. We don't ever get a really good look at.
Yeah, not
that.
great.
But I did spot this one that we see at Detmer
Yeah, it's well
and
fitted.
Hugh
Yeah, it's
wearing.
fine.
Yeah,
I
I
like
kind of
it.
like this little diagonally looking. It
Yeah.
almost looks like where you keep like a pocket watch.
Oh, yeah, it does. Like a, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they tailor these pretty well, which makes me really upset at the other uniforms that they do not.
Mm.
I'm not even yelling to add a belt, which is
That's
surprising
true.
for me.
Yeah.
Like they don't
Because
need a belt.
Because they
Well,
actually
it's because they nip it
cinch
at the
them in,
waist.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So you
actually
don't need
fit
it.
them to your
They
fucking
look
actor.
good. What crazy time?
Lower Decks does a couple different jokes. It does the joke where they just took the TNG uniform and made it Lower Deck style.
Nice dresses.
Very funky dresses. There's also one where they're literally just a scene where they're literally wearing the white uniform that you see at Insurrection
Oh,
and
okay.
later at Deep Space Nine, but it's literally the same. So I'm not including that in this one. Just it's a cartoon dress.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
They did it. Good job. I'm including this, but feel free to cut it, Chris, because I don't know anything about Season 2 Picard.
I think that might just be the regular Admiral's uniform, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to include this, so I want to...
Looks like he's giving a speech.
You can look at Picard, you can decide if you want to include this in the actual list of things you're considering. Yeah, it looks like a normal Admiral uniform.
Yeah, looks good.
It does look good.
His neck whatsits are cockeyed, but...
Oh, yeah, they are.
What's it called?
I thought you were going to say, like, his jowls.
Yeah, his
I was
jowls.
There's pips.
Yeah, his Admiral rank pips. Just for a bonus, I know we're talking Starfleet dress uniforms, but because I think she looks fucking cute as hell, Kira has a Bajora dress uniform that we get to see a couple
about that.
times.
She always looks cute.
That I fucking love.
Yeah, it's a nice shade of lavender. It's well cut to the actor.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
a good,
beautiful.
It's a good.
I love the Now Visitor.
Yeah, it's got the normal Bajoran collar that we're gonna see.
Yep.
But, you know, it doesn't have those stupid kind of funky color blocking things.
Yeah, I
It's a
forgot
good
about
time.
that.
I
Yeah, it's
like
a good.
it.
It's a good little thing.
Yeah, so just a bonus for us. I'm not including it in the full list. Speaking of the full list, here is everybody. I mean, obviously, my favorite is Generations.
Same. That's what I was going to say, too.
I'm not going to count that one in my
You're not.
list.
Yeah, feel
Just
free to
because
count
it's
or
not
count.
really a Starfleet uniform.
I'm a little torn because it's like I really like the sort of Discovery captain dress.
Yeah, me too.
But because it's specific to the captain, it almost feels kind of like
Cheating.
yeah.
I think we see Saru wear it.
He's a captain now.
That's true.
He is a captain.
That's very true.
So I think because it's kind of its own special thing, I'll give it an honorable mention.
Sure.
But say that my favorite are probably the TOS ones.
Ah.
They're simple. They're to the point. They're not.
They're fancy.
Yeah, they're like I said, they just took the regular uniform, zhuzhed it up a little. Which again they kind of did with Enterprise, but
Yeah, Enterprise I think would be my honorable mention if I'm going with
Yeah,
if I'm going with Generations, which I am because I'm
That's
a
fair.
jerk.
That's fair. Yeah. So yeah, I'll say top is TOS with an honorable mention for the captain's variant in Disco.
I think the captain's variant is my favorite from Disco.
Yeah.
Least favorite, I'm gonna say Kelvin Nazis.
Yeah, fair. I don't know. My least favorite is seasons 1 and or really specifically season 2 TNG.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because it is just Picard swimming in fucking fabric.
I can't decide if it's that one or the looking like Help at the Wedding one from Deep Space Nine. But yeah, it's probably seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, TNG seasons 1 and 2 is bad.
There we go.
See, here's the thing.
Did you say Nazis too, Jake?
No, well, I was going to no.
Okay.
So Nazis.
Listen, the Nazis actually designed a good uniform.
That
True.
I think that
Well,
was,
being fair, I think it was who did design the Nazi uniforms?
Oh, it was like
It's someone
Hugo
that's still
Boss
around.
or
Yeah,
something.
Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss.
Well, that was the SS,
No,
wasn't it?
Hugo Boss produced the uniforms. I don't think he designed them. I think his company constructed them.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you saying, Jake?
Yeah. Sorry.
So I actually think uniform-wise, yeah, the Nazi uniform isn't bad. If you took the hat away, it might be a contender for top.
Oh
for
yeah.
me.
That's fair. It is the hat that
The hat
really.
looks it not even if it wasn't a Nazi hat, it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, they look really silly. You're not wearing
Oh,
that
yeah,
shit
it's like
in space.
again, like Star Trek. For all that, even the TOS took a lot of influence from the real military. They ditched hats.
Yeah, you never see anyone else wear a hat.
Yeah,
unless you're hiding Spock's ears.
Yeah, like they don't do hats as part of uniforms. You know, like hats are still around. We see them, but they're not part of which makes sense because you're a multi-species group, and a lot of your species have funky heads. Like, you know what? We're just not even gonna bother. We'd have to make so many variants. Have you met the Ferengi?
Like they did in Take Me Out to the Holoswing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it didn't work. So because of the hat, I can't say any good things about the
the hat's terrible.
The Into Darkness one. So I think I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with what Michael Burnham is wearing there.
It is. It looks great on
captain's
her.
variant.
That looks
That's
really
what I
good.
said, too.
That looks really good.
I like it.
And then for bottom, for me, it's gonna be early TNG dress is gonna be my bottom.
Yeah, they're pretty shapeless.
They're pretty rough.
Yeah, they're just not nice. And again, it's also got that mad scientist look.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it so much on the later dress uniforms. Maybe it's also because of how the piping, the gold is
Just too much of it.
and it goes all the way down the seam, which
They also cheat in the drawing here because like they make it way more fitted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not like that on the.
Yeah, that's
actual
what I was
people.
thinking too. It's like if it looked more like that, I wouldn't be as bothered. But when you see it actually on Patrick Stewart, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, so it's
Poor
probably
thing.
not the uniform's fault. It's the tailor that made
Yeah,
it.
like had it been Taylor better, it might have been
See,
fine.
and you were wondering why we need Garrick in the 23rd.
That's
the,
That's the thing.
the replicator wouldn't do it right.
It has no panache. It's very generic. It's like buying a suit jacket from a department store versus, getting a tailor to fix it
versus
for you.
buying one from the men's warehouse.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for listening to us this whole time, our dear listeners. I hope you've been following this along. I forgot to say earlier, all this is up on our Tumblr.
Yes.
Links
Yeah.
below.
Tumblr.
Click over to the Tumblr, follow along, as you can see all these dress uniforms there.
And they will have been working by now since Ames noticed the issue with the
Well, that was just on
carryover.
Facebook. Yeah, that was just on Facebook. The links
Yeah.
still worked.
True.
Yeah, let us know if there are other dress uniforms that you want to give a shout out to, because I'm sure I missed a whole bunch from the Kelvin movies or some bullshit. Next week, we're going to get all dolled up some more as we continue to get through more Voyager stuff. We are covering more episodes, Maneuvers and Resistance. Fuck Voyager titles, man. They're so innocuous, and I hate them. And we're going to continue talking uniforms in our activities. We have more uniforms to discuss then. Until then, you can catch us on all your other different podcasting places to listen to all our other episodes. You can hang out with us on the Facebook and the Twitter. You can dress up in your favorite dress uniform and do that, weirdos. I'm going to do that right now. My name has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
Jake.
And this is always Chris.
Oh no, the sky people. They're taking our hawks.
But hey, they're giving us Puma powers. Ba, 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 ba.
You know who they really should have given some culture to? White people.
Ha
You know who they should have got to play the Hawk? What? Avery Brooks.
There we go.
Oh, I
See,
get
that's
it.
a good joke.
I get it.
That's a much better joke. Good job.